Yeah, what up, good people? We are back once again. It's the cul-de-sac. Your boy Big Mike in the building with G Nice today. We're about to jump on the game. You got to figure perennial Super Bowl favorites. Year in, year out, those New England Patriots. Let's talk about it.
The spy team. Look at
Spygate, Deflategate.
I really don't think the Texans have much of a chance in this game. I know there's a bunch of storylines in this game because of coaching staff aspects and the things. Brock Osweiler is just not the quarterback that they paid him to be, and this is not the team that they expected. I think really the Houston's kind of shocked that they're where they are, due to the fact that you don't have J.J. Watt, due to the fact you have some other injuries going on with your team. Yeah. I think after having some of that, they were pretty much like, it's going to be awesome if we just make first round. Yep. And now they're the fact that they're made first round, now they're in second round, and have an opportunity to go of the AFC Championship. But I really think this is the end of the road for them.
Are you surprised that on paper they are the number one rated defense?
I really am because their defense spends so much time on the field that it's easy for their defense to get tired and give up big blowout games.
Yeah, because I would think that from a fan perspective, if you had to say, okay, tell me right off the bat, right now, today, who the number one rated defense is, there's no way that you would say the Texans.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's a couple other teams that are in the top five that I don't know if I would have officially put up there and say these guys would in their top five. But yeah, it's hard to even root on the Texans because I feel like they're the bad news bears. Why I say that is you never know what's going on. You Brock Osweiler, you paid him all that money to come in and play, and then you at some point you bench him. Well, and then you bring in another quarterback who gets hurt, and then you bring Brock Osweiler back in to potentially take him off to the playoff. Why do you have so many problems? Because they had the same problem last year. How many times did they swap quarterbacks in and out in that situation?
They may do it again. My thing with Houston is they backed into the playoffs. I mean, they didn't go on a tangent of winning.
No, not at all.
We were just talking about how the Packers ran the table. I mean, Houston did everything but that. I can't root for them. I'm sorry. I can't because it doesn't seem like they should really be there.
Oh, and
they benefited from being in a very weak division.
And I agree. I'm definitely a person that likes Cinderella stories. I mean, it would be something if they were to win the game, and it would be a great story. And as a Steelers fan, I would love for them to win the game because I don't want to have to beat the Patriots and the AFC Championship if I don't have to. But the way Belichick runs his team, the way Tom Brady is playing this year, the way the Patriots have fixed all the holes in their team, how do I root against them, against a Texan team that seems to just win more on accidents, capitalizing on other teams' accidents when they make them too many times, more than them actually winning the game?
Yeah. The only bright side that I will say for Houston is you're starting to see the emergence of Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes.
Almost legendary coming out of college. And you figure that it was supposed to be this great pairing of he and J.J. Watt. Watt gets hurt. He's been the most consistent player for them, offense or defense.
Yeah, I really never doubted Clowney after coming out of college. I know he came out of college a little funky and with all the bad news stuff, and I know they put a lot of pressure on him to be great in the very beginning, and he, minus the injuries, adjusting to the NFL league of the speed, the power these people are having is something that every defensive player is going to have to learn. It's a little different from on the defensive side than offensive side. As a wide receiver or running back, you just need to continue to keep going downhill and just doing the simple things. As a defensive player, you are now facing players that run as fast as you, as strong as you, and they move as quick as you. And when you were in college, those linemen did not do any of that. You may have faced one or two teams. You may have faced Alabama. You may have faced a Florida, or you may have faced even, we'll say, Stanford, where they had linemen that were that good. But in the meantime, you played, University of Southern Mississippi, Colonial, whatever, who were guys that just needed to be there to stand in front of somebody.
Yeah.
So it is a little different for the defensive side.
In an NFL double team, is something totally different than
Yeah.
the NCAA double team.
Yeah, and look they are on the verge of having a great defense for next year with
Absolutely.
J.J. Watt. Actually, it's funny, if J.J. Watt didn't get put on IR, he was able to play today. He was medically cleared last week to play, but he's on IR, so he can't. I don't think he can actually play the rest of the season.
No, he's done for the rest of the year. And I'm like you. Next year, I think we're going to be talking about their defense in a solid position of saying they're a top 3 or top 4 defense. Like I said, on paper this year they're the number 1, but you don't get a sense of that. And I think with Clowney, he's had a year now to get used to being in that spotlight, and he's also developed. Last week he had the pick.
Yeah,
he had the sack. He's starting to develop, and it looks like he's starting to get comfortable in that role of being one of the top defenders in the league.
Oh, definitely. He definitely looks like his NFL IQ has definitely picked up. With his size, his speed, and athletic capabilities, I knew that he, at some point in time in his career in NFL, he would be a wrecking force for somebody. But it's developing that IQ to diagnose a play, to figure out where you need to be, not to overrun plays and stuff like that. And Houston has good defensive line and a good linebacker crew that could teach him that. And I think that's what they're doing very, very well for them. Unfortunately, they don't have the offense to back it up. And, they are one of 4 teams in the NFL that all were the same type of teams that couldn't do what they needed to do to get in the playoffs, but Houston was able to backdoor, just like Denver. Denver's a team where their defense kept them in contention for the playoffs, but their offense wasn't there. I'm going to give a big up to offensive for the Houston is Lamar Miller, and who had a very strugglesome season in the beginning, unable to turn it around.
True. And your overall thought, do you think that Brock Osweiler really has a future with the Texans? I mean, $70 million aside, as far as what you've seen out of him this season, of course, they made the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs based on him or his quarterback play. He got benched. Do you think that he has a future with the Texans? Is he that guy?
I fear quarterbacks for Houston in general. I don't know if any real quarterback has a real future in the Texan organization, because they flip over them so fast.
True.
And they give up on them so fast. I'm just saying, if you're willing to spend that much money on a quarterback, then you're going to have to ride or die with him through all his struggles, no matter what the situation is. And you cannot put a quarterback like that on the bench. That really hurts his morale. How is he supposed to come back and want to play for you? Or how is he supposed to have enough confidence in himself to play? Do I see Brock Osweiler being there? Yes. Do I see him playing well? I can see him getting maybe a little bit better, but I don't see him being playing the money that they paid him. I don't see him being that worth.
So we're going to say next season being an average season for them, if they get into, essentially at that point it'd be year number 3.
Right.
And he hasn't turned that corner. Do you start looking again as an organization?
I think they will. I think that's something that organization does. I think that's the way they self-destruct, is by looking for a quarterback that will make an instant impact without having any flaws. And even if you're the best quarterback in the league, and we just got done talking about Aaron Rodgers, who arguably could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, he had a very flawed beginning of the season. And if Green Bay gave up on him, where would they be at now?
Yeah.
I think at a point in time, that organization needs to stick with the quarterback, ride or die with him. If he throws 4 interceptions and we go down throwing 4 interceptions, but he starts next week until, he can prove that he can't be a quarterback for the whole year.
Yeah. To me, Brock Osweiler is Jay Cutler-esque. You know what I mean? He may have a good game here or there. He may have a stellar game every now and again. But I'm just wondering, with the defense rounding out, and like I said, you made the playoffs. You have that to hang your hat on for next season. Still a weak link at the QB position.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, with this game against the Patriots, it's earn your money time.
Yeah.
This is, I'll put it to you like this. He's in the same position that Kirk Cousins was with the Redskins.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's go out and go earn your money, go out and earn your keep.
Right.
People are questioning you. Your play is going to determine ultimately your future.
Right.
And today is going to be one of those days. If he goes out and plays horribly, I don't know if they're going to be able to pick up the pieces with him, at least for the first half of next season, because that defense is going to turn. I mean, that defense is going to be a defense that's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
So today's score, what do you think?
The Patriots have been holding opposing teams to like less than 15. I doubt very seriously that the Texans are even going to get 15. I'm thinking 36-13. So I'm definitely taking a pass over 30.
Texans, to be part of the game, need to at least put up 24 points. I don't think they put up 24 points. I think they put up 12. I think it's like a 28-12 game because I feel like the Patriots are going to let off the gas about fourth quarter and they're just going to run LeGarrette Blount for the whole and kill time.
Yeah, now talking about the pass, and like I said, arguably at this point, the Super Bowl favorites. The Gronk injury hurts them, in the postseason.
But they seem to patch things up.
But I was going to say, do you see any weaknesses with this past team?
They give up the least amount of sacks right now. So, I mean, doing that is awesome. Tom Brady's only throwing 2 interceptions the whole season. With a passer rating, I think it's like 107, 114, something around there. It's pretty high up there. I think overall he's ranked ninth or something like that as a quarterback. I mean, and that's still missing, 3 games at the beginning of the season.
Absolutely.
And having a bye week. I mean, he's definitely shown. The weakness of their team is definitely forcing them to continue to have to throw the ball going into the fourth quarter. That is what they are. Because they get so well at getting up on you early and fast. Mm-hmm. And if you cannot compete, then they are going to slow it down in the fourth quarter, and they're going to make one attempt with the ball is going to take them 4 minutes of like each time with the ball, and it's going to just keep killing the clock.
Yeah, see, for me, I don't see. I say even with Gronk being out, I don't see any glaring weaknesses.
But they haven't had a team yet this year to battle them points for points wise.
Well, and see, that's almost to my point. The only thing that I can see being a big detractor for the Patriots is the fact that they're not exceptionally deep in their skill positions. If Blount doesn't get hurt, you're getting Amendola back. Bennett doesn't get hurt. Mm-hmm. We're going to get the game that we wanted all year long.
Well, I mean, they did bring in Michael.
We're looking at the Steelers in the past. That's the game that we've wanted all year long.
I don't want that game.
I don't know.
I mean, look, as a media person, as a football fanatic, of course I want that game because I would like to shut Tom Brady up. But as a Steelers fan and looking at my best route to the Super Bowl, I don't want it. I don't want to have to play that hard of a game to convince myself that we are Super Bowl contenders. It's a great storybook. It'd be great for a movie.
Oh, yeah.
But, as a fan, that's what I want. As a media player, yeah. I think it would be one of the best games you're going to have all year. And it was a good game when we played them before, earlier this season. It's going to be a lot of offense, and it's going to be one of those things where a couple defensive plays changes the game and makes the game. So.
Exactly. And see, I want to see this game because, the Killer Bees, I said you have to pass holding teams to 15 or less. They're not going to hold Pittsburgh to less than 15. Pittsburgh's defense.
We're healthy.
Well, and like I said, they've been opportunistic these last few games. But what would they do against a Tom Brady? I mean, that right there is the price of admission that I'm going to pay.
You know what? I'm going to put it this way. If we have to pay the Pats this year, I'm actually okay with it. Because the one problem that we've always had with the Pats is Gronk. Mm-hmm. And Gronk is a matchup problem against anybody, period. Oh,
absolutely.
Due to the fact that Martavis Brillant isn't as athletic. He's still athletic and good, but he doesn't catch as well, doesn't run as well, he's not a Gronk-esque as Gronk is. I feel like we can match it better with that. So if we had to play the Pats, I'd feel more comfortable that Gronk's out of the lineup.
Okay. All right. So the current game, and I'm sorry, I skipped right over the Texans like they really don't have a chance to win because, to be honest, they really don't have a chance to win.
It's a hard game.
What are you predicting as far as the score of the current game?
Like I said, I think it's a 28-12 game, something like that. I don't feel like Texans are able to put up enough points to win the game.
Okay. If they're up 2 touchdowns, are you resting anybody from the pass in the fourth?
No, you don't give up. You keep pushing this playoffs.
All right. So I said, so you heard it. You got Big Mike on one, you got G Nice on the other.
Playoffs.
The playoffs. It's a pass game. We're going to come back from the commercial break and we're going to talk about them Dallas Cowboys. How about that? It's the Cul-de-sac Hottest Live Radio.